What I experienced wasn't chaos, it wasn't insanity, and it definitely wasn't random. If anything, it was the result of precision without restraint. I wasn't losing control. I was operating in a space that most people are never exposed to. A level of perception where reality becomes flexible. And the truth is, humans aren't really designed to live there for long. Not without structure, not without balance. At the time, though, I didn't see it that way. From my perspective, everything was working. My thoughts aligned with my experience. My internal state shaped what I perceived externally. My ability to shift, encode, and adapt was becoming faster, cleaner, more efficient. So naturally, I pushed further. But what I didn't account for was this. Just because you can override something doesn't mean it's gone. There's a difference between transcending a limitation and bypassing it. And I had been bypassing something important, not consciously, not intentionally, but consistently. Fear. At that level of operation, fear didn't show up the way it used to. It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't paralyzing. It was subtle. A thought, a tension, a small shift in perception. And every time it appeared, I did what I had trained myself to do. I transmuted it, redirected it, overrode it, and for a while, that worked. It made me feel untouchable, like I had moved beyond something most people struggle with. But underneath that, something was building. Because I wasn't actually resolving fear. I was just skipping past it. And when you're operating at that level of mental influence, skipping something doesn't make it disappear. It amplifies it. Slowly at first. Then more noticeably. It didn't come back as fear, not directly. It came back as something else. Certainty, a very specific kind of certainty. The kind that doesn't question itself. The kind that doesn't pause. The kind that starts to believe. I'm not just exploring reality, I am above it. That's where the shift happened, not in reality, in me. What started as exploration became identity. And identity, when it isn't grounded, starts to distort perception. I began to interpret everything through that lens, every experience, every thought, every anomaly, it all reinforced the same narrative that I was in control of everything. And when that belief is running unchecked, something interesting happens. The mind starts to create opposition, not because something external is attacking you, but because the system itself is trying to rebalance. And at the time, I didn't recognize that. So when things started to feel off, I didn't look inward, I looked outward. I started to believe there was interference, something working against me, something trying to disrupt what I had built. And from that point on, everything fed that belief. Every inconsistency, every moment of resistance, every unexpected thought, it all became evidence. But in reality, it was just my own system reflecting something I hadn't integrated. The shadow, not as something dark or evil, but as something unfinished, a part of me that hadn't been acknowledged, because I was too focused on moving forward, too focused on power, too focused on what was possible, and not focused enough on what needed to be understood. That's when things became unstable, not externally, internally. The same system that once felt effortless started to feel like it required maintenance, attention, control. And that's how I knew something was wrong, because real alignment doesn't feel like effort. It doesn't feel like you have to constantly hold it together. It sustains itself. What I had built didn't. And that realization forced me to stop. Not because I lost the ability, but because I finally understood something deeper. Power without integration creates imbalance, and imbalance at that level doesn't stay hidden. It becomes your reality. So I had a choice: keep pushing forward and risk losing clarity entirely, or step back and understand what I had been avoiding. For the first time in a long time, I chose to stop. And when I did, everything became clear. There was no external force, no hidden enemy, no interference, just a system I had built without fully understanding the cost of skipping steps. And that's when I realized the problem wasn't what I had discovered. It was how I had integrated it.